answer the question in chat, the reason why I stopped being a software dev is I realized all the things I wanted to do, that I want from my job, that would make me happy, that would make me feel fulfilled, I could get by being a content creator and a caster/host. And that is why KP is where he is in 2025. A year that I hope and I believe we are truly going to make ours. The question is, who's going to make this their series? Sass just stomped the heart out of Stopper in game 1. To the point he was going, stop, stop. Now we head into game 2. Malians versus Byzantines on Gorge. We're going to hit the fast forward for the early game here. Interesting matchup, actually. Byzantines is usually really good against Malians for the all-in. I think this is very powerful, actually. So we've seen this a few times. On this map in particular, Byzantines going longbow rush into a ram play can ruin Malians. The reason is that Cairo Siphons are super effective against the pit mine area. You're able to torch potentially 3 buildings at once between the pit mine and the houses. I'm hoping that's where Stopper wants to go with this. He needs to get back in the series. Otherwise, Sassy's going to get the opportunity to hunker down and go for that classic big boy cattle build. Who you do better working as an enterprise software developer and being a game dev as a hobby? There's a logic to that. So for the recording, because we were just talking about beforehand, I chose something I love doing over just making loads of money. I actually think that if I do this thing right and I'm good at it, I can make a lot of money eventually anyway, right? I definitely could have made money quicker by staying as a software dev. But for me, I realized, you know, if I have these jobs, these careers, I'm going to spend more time at work with the people I work with and the people I love. I'm going to spend more time doing this thing. So I wanted it to be something I love doing. That was very important for me. And I realized that the core of it, what I am, what I love being, what I'm good at, I think so, is being an entertainer. Yeah. So I wanted to put those skills to full use. Hence, here we are, doing what we do. You want to leave your software dev job, but I still need the money? Yeah, I mean, like, so the big thing for me, I think it's really dumb. And wow, that was vicious. Are you kidding me? That's a huge snatch. Sass is loving life right now. This is probably Pro Scouts, and he's already now got 14 sheep compared to the 10. Huge deal there. But, you know, as we got a little bit of a lull period, we can talk more about the software dev job thing. In my job as software dev, I hated my job so much that I saved all the money I possibly could. And that set me up to go full-time as an esports commentator and to eventually like look to go full-time as a content creator, right? Because I couldn't bring myself to unnecessarily spend a penny. I'm not even exaggerating. Like when I was a software dev, if I had to pay for something, my brain would be like, that cost me this many hours of my life. I wasn't mathing the cost of things in cash anymore. I was mathing the cost of things in hours of my life lost. That is when you know you're in a really bad place. There is a pragmatic element to calculating hours into currency, but what I was doing was just spiraling depression. So yeah, I think I've talked about this a few times on the stream before. Like when I was in that dev job, I was deep depression. I didn't realize it until afterwards. Like, I imagine this game being more grayscale than vibrant colors. That's how I viewed the world. Glad to say I see it in full vibrancy now. It's like Pro Scouts is coming in sec. Sass is going to go for the snatch and grab. We got 2TC out of Stopper, and I'm a little bit perplexed, man. I mean, dude, we've been seeing a lot of 2TC reactions to Pro Scouts, and I'm not impressed by the 2TC. Pro Scouts just seem to be paying off a lot more. Doing what you like makes a world difference. Agreed. Like, you know, find a way that you think is valid that you contribute, right? Glad to see you on the other side. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, like, I mean, dude, I streamed back then as well. If those don't know, what really made everything so stressful is, like, I was working a 9 to 5, and then I was streaming 7 to 8 hours a day as well. So, yeah, I've been a streamer since 2013, 2014? I think 2014. No, sorry, no, 2016, I think. 2015 and 2016. And I would legit stream 8 hours a day, work 8 hours a day, and then travel back and forth to work, which is another 2 hours. So I was averaging, for a year and a half, about maybe 2 hours of sleep a night. I do not recommend It's insanely unhealthy. I still question to this day whether I done some permanent damage to my body, like brain damage or anything else. I mean, this is the weird thing. Like, you wouldn't even know necessarily if you brain damaged yourself. Do you get what I mean? Right? Nice grab there with the Horseman. So Stopper is playing into the Horseman Longbows we talked about. It's just he's lost his tempo because he went 2 TC. Yeah, we will keep referencing the game a little bit between these talks. We have got the Ranchers coming in, so it's looking more and more like we're going to be moving towards Fulani. The Sofa detail is pretty cool. It's a good counter to the Lombos, good way of dealing with Horsemen. We do have Spears on the way as well. But yeah, you know, surprised no one took the cheap shot about brain damage, by the way. Like, of course you are, KP. But yeah, so for me, you know, if you wouldn't know if you were brain damaged, you really wouldn't. Like, because when someone hears the word brain damage, they're like, "Oh my god, you mean like you're a vegetable, you're in a coma, like, you know, nothing what the extremes." But like brain damage comes in different levels, right? So yeah, I've always wondered about that. But then again, everyone's psychology is weird in a different way. I seem to be functional enough to do my job, so it works out nicely. But yes, the TLDR is find a way to work towards what you want to do in life, but don't let it come at the extreme sacrifice of your health. Oh. This is interesting, though. Having, like, Sofa massing up. Not really your usual? I do like it, though. I've talked about this before, that I think Sofa play in Feudal Age is underrated. They're very powerful units in the early phase of the game when used right. And what is up, Xlav? Thank you very much for the raid, buddy. Hope you had a good stream. The Stopper is coming with the pressure that we talked about. My only concern is whether he's waited too long. Javelin counter is now coming through to reveal itself. You've already got enough Sofa to block the play into Horseman. If Stopper just bodies with more Limitane, there is a way. In fact, there is an argument that maybe Sass would be better off going Archers himself. Doesn't want to do it though, right? Like, think about what Malians get a lot of. It's gold and food, so you want to be putting that into Javs. You know what about Limitane, Sofa when they're Limitane? You just don't fight them. Like, Sass, if he goes and dives into the enemy base right now, this is very smart. Just needs to time it right and find the correct entry point. You don't want to be anywhere near a garrisonable location, right? Like, if you dive in the primary TC, it'd be bad. Oof, but the Seek Shell might actually be really bad for Stopper. The classic griefing himself. Doesn't activate the Akratoy either. Yeah, that would have been huge. The extra armor, a wall will at least be able to save him. But the undermesh is already there. Well played by Sass to realize that was going to be necessary. The counter dive is coming in, but it's a force dive, and it means it's expensive for Stopper. Oversteps the mark. The Limitane count down to 4 in the offensive. Javelins are whittling away at that Archer backline. Archers are now coming through, so we're getting what we want out of Sass. Give him a little bit more of a stable defense here. Stopper, a big miss macro, 1,000 gold. What? Okay, something went severely wrong here. Stopper might just have to marketplace and sell. I don't like the idea of holding on to 1,000 surplus gold for like the next 2 minutes. You could say it eventually balances itself out, but an aggressive castle time would be advantageous here. Because if you let it organically fix itself now, it's going to be Fulani. Right? We can already see that Sass has extra cattle waiting to be bundled together. I think this is Fulani still. I mean, it easily looks like it, right? It would be cool to see a Farimba switch up, but I just don't think you need it here. I love that Sassy is actually bodying with archers as well. The problem for Stopper is he can't mirror with longbows. Remember, you're very limited in the early mid-game with Byzantines. You're all about timing, specific windows where you have the number advantage. And we're past that window, remember, that the big golden one, the golden price of Byzantines is usually about 9 to 10 minutes. That's with 1 TC, then going fast castle. Obviously, he skewed his timings here by going for 2 TC. Now, blocker towards the Grand Warren location, so if there was an intent to get more olive groves, it's not going to work out. He does have food gathering to the south side, but it's deer. Same as that second TC. Going for the deer is sacrificing your ability to pump more mercs. Mercs that would be very valuable now, considering your opponent pivoted archers. Horsemen are at least keeping back the reinforcements, right? But I don't think this is to the detriment of Sass. He is going to be able to get ready for the Fulani drop. Golden Horn Tower is on the way. Doesn't look like it's been scouted, but I imagine at this stage Sass is getting suspicious because his opponent isn't fighting him. All right, ones if you think Sass is going to win this game. Twos if you think Stopper is going to take us all the way to a third. Does look a little bit tricky right now for Stopper. He'll have a slight age-up advantage, but then again, Sass could maybe just rush this with 10 to 11 to almost mirror the timing. We are getting Rax's prepped as well, so it looks like we are going to be seeing Mass Musafadi Flood. Really smart choice, considering that Stopper is lightly going for Rangium with this build. What would be crafty is if instead he went Cataphracts. It's theoretically possible. You'd be starving a little bit on the food side of things. It's very expensive, right? Like, you know, you could be paying 180, or you could just be paying 90. Getting 2 Varangians for the price of Cataphract is pretty wild. And you do need to blob against Malians. Malians tend to win their games based on quantity over quality. The Sofas definitely lean an element of quality, but it's all about having enough numbers to blob your opponent. Tech Up comes out. Stopper is 23 villages ahead. And remember that, it's going to balance them out. So when the Fulani completes, they're going to be neck and neck on economy. So like I said, by no means over. And we do actually have Varangian and Cataphracts coming. The weird part to me is like, usually I would back the idea of 2TC against Malians. I get why Stopper done it. Like, we've talked about on this channel so much. But on Gorge in particular, and against Malians as Byzantines, like I said, there's just so much value out the Cairo Siphon opening. I was a little bit surprised we didn't see it this game. A little bit poke coming in. Sass is going to have to back away. Doesn't want to lose the Sofas. He wants to get the veterancies in. How did Kiljadi do me finish? Oh, it was a banger. Recommend checking it out. We're now checking in on the Sassy Stopper game number 2. Winner of this, of course, is going to be going up against B, and I can confirm that is happening at 20 GMT. When you play Malian died to Catalansknecht, it's pretty powerful, but like the logic there, and this is why Byzantines, I guess you could just play them Castle instead of the Feudal one I talked about, is the logic is if you go Western Contract, your opponent can't go Donzos, so you aren't blocked, right? Because if you can't go Donzos, then like Cataphracts just run you through. And then it also feels really weird as a Malian player because you don't have crossbows to counter the Cataphracts either. So yeah, there's like, I guess you can play Byzantines deeper in the game. It's just, historically, you don't need to go Castle Age. You can just end this in Feudal. Pit Mine's looking good as well, man. Sass, he has at least blurred his income to mirror. He does need to get that final Pit Mine up. But Horsemen are going to be raiding over there, so good time if you stop it actually get some damage done. Counter raided should be more impactful. Remember, these are now veteran Sofa. Port Armor's already in. Very chunky boys. So we're at least going to start finding the houses, so a little bit of damage to be done there. 3 days of being snowed in. What is a snow in? I'm British. That must mean 1 inch of snow, I guess? Oh, my commiserations, mate. Bloody annoying weather. Okay, so Stopper did actually get extra farms up here. I do believe we have a stabilized Byzantine player. Sass might want to consider 2TC at this rate. He's not really achieving the Zerg advantage, you know? But he did at least lean the quality we talked about. Like, there is a quality element, and that is Sofa. Problem is, your opponent is the Byzantines. Limitane is so easy to blob, and so effective as well because of the teardrop shields. Right, remember, that's the tech that gives you the extra movement speed, 15% on Limitane. Which, quite frankly, I still think is insane to this day because it makes you as fast as Sofa when you're charging after them. Relic's now being targeted as well, so Stopper will be able to secure, what, probably 3 Relics here? Good position on the north side to do so. Definitely a bit of a generous spawn in that regard. 4 Relics north side means pressure is important here. Ability to take the main fight is critical. My worry for Sass is that the archers won't clear these Limitane fast enough. Interesting, more horsemen coming in from Stopper. Not your usual Byzantine build. I was a little bit surprised we didn't get more cataphracts. I still am surprised, actually. Definitely an expensive unit. I think Stopper is just trying to mirror the blob. Logic being is he doesn't want to get overwhelmed by raw number, right? So that's pretty creative, actually. Most players would have just went cata spam. But it takes just so much longer, right? It's double the production time, over double the cost. See if it actually pays off for him. The sofas get completely blocked by a single cataphract. We do have military academy on the way. Okay, so Sass is committing to the Zerg. The eco lead has become a problem, though. For a game where we're probably talking about close to a 50-50 split on relics, and by close I mean as close as you can get, right? 3-2 split. Sass is now seeing Fulani fall off. The good news for Sass is if the game goes late enough, Fulani is a very big edge, remember, because it's just extra economy in a game where you're raw pop capped. He's going to have to survive for about 10 minutes to realize that. Flash coming in. One of the most ideal of fights for Sass to get caught doing. Javelin's overextending, trying to trade out against the Lombo, so good fight found for Stopper. One that he needs because Sass starting to get the numbers together. Wave after wave on the flanks now. Sofa's moving into the farms. Okay, this is where things could get a little bit shaky for Stopper. His army is not mobile. In fact, I'm pretty sure he still doesn't have teardrop shields. No. Big mistake made there. These Limitane would be able to mirror these raids if he had that tech. And wow, Akratoy as well. Well played. He needs all the help he can get. Not the prettiest defense. It looks like it is at least working. Great utilization of that toolkit. Gets them extra melee armor, gets extra damage. Take out the raiding cav. Actually, did he lose that much for it? I think maybe was it 6 to 8 on the backside. Maximum could have been a lot worse. Sass has at least shrunk that eco lead to basically within about 20. So Fulani is still now balancing him out. Relic situation is actually looking like Sass is going to end up with the 3-2 advantage. Why Varangian? Archers more than anything, I'd say. Like, poisons can kill you, sure, but it's not just guaranteed to just ruin you as fast as you'd think. It's also... Against the Donzo is not a terrible choice. Like, what else would you build here, right? Like, Stopper has enough farms now where Landsnet can at least work, but... What would you build instead? I mean, Cataphracts would be good for raiding. I think Stopper's in a weird position where he's thinking about the main fight. So getting a bunch of Limitane and then layering in crap tons of Landsnet is a pretty smart winning play. Especially now that scouts are coming out. Sass is just trying to counter the pack line. Oh wait, where did the UI go? What the hell? We're back. Is that okay, getting something for free and then moaning about the quality of it? Never seen that. Backstab from Sass. This is a really good fight for him. Stopper, I think he misread this. Wait, he's not even paying attention! Sass is like, wait, is he baiting me? No, he's legit just not looking. Cataphract are going to dive past. Archers should be able to kite this out. The Sofa are now arriving back here. They've got a ripple of troops into the back line that can find some important eco kills. In fact, we've got workers running through the battlefield right now. Sass, a little bit of a missed micro in his economy, but a complete advantage in that fight. Stopper, I can't believe that, man. An expensive loss here, right? Now, he does have the economy to rebolster, but Sassy is starting to get what he needs. I am back. Did anyone miss me? Who are you? No, I'm kidding. All right, one's if you think Sass is going to win this, two's if you think Stopper's taking it. Since he has 30 Lombos, putting all the food on Caddis makes sense. of. I get why he's going Limitane. Like I said before, the logic here is he is in a race of quantity. If they were 200 pop, then yes, you could go Catos instead and mass Catos, because Cataphracts are very pop efficient. But scaling them is not efficient. They take a long time to do so. And whenever you play against Malians, the biggest threat you have is, oh my god, he's going to have 3 times more troops than me. Okay, I see we've reached the oversharing part of chat tonight. Is Stopper intentionally just hunkering now? I mean, it doesn't look like he's thinking about Imperial, but it's going to happen at this rate now that he's pop capped, right? If he doesn't start moving out to trade, he could go Imperial on this. What's the value play, though? I guess Limitane into Elite Tech. Teardrop Shields is still not there, though, right? And okay, he has got it now. Yeah, so you could just lean on Limitane. If he's thinking about Imperial, it's going to have to be Palatine score from this position. I don't think Foreign Engineering Company has as much value as it used to with the Nestimese moves. It's still decent for the Longbows, because Volley is pretty sick. Lanceneck, I just don't think is that good with the Foreign Engineering Company. So then you got asked, like, do you think Longbows are your win condition against Malians? They can be against Gunners. The big problem is the now, and the now is all about Sofa and Archers. It feels like this is going to be Palatine. The scary spot for him is the moment he techs up, Sass will commit. Remember, Sass, he's got such a small economy, he can bloat military a lot bigger. Men-at-Arms, Crossbows, your favorite units against Malis? Makes a lot of sense. Crossbows, good all-arounder, good counter Sofa. And the Varangian are chunky enough. Also, the cool thing about Varangian is if your opponent ever shows weakness, you can Berserk just to overwhelm. Good defense from Stopper, a necessary one as well. Sass is going to get pushed back, and funnily enough, our CIS player looks like he's getting ready for an age-up, even though he's having to push out like this. Yo, what's up, Standard? Thank you very much, mate. Carrying AoE for my shoulders. I don't know about that. Glad people are enjoying the midweek musters, though. Thank you, thank you. I was like, my daughter's got me ill, my throat is half dead, but we must cast. It is necessary. Stopper. Is he getting grinded down, or is he doing the grinding here? He has been forced to reinvest the resources, so Imperial is going to get delayed. This feels like it's not enough front line, though. Stopper, where are all the spears? Right, there's only 11 here. So a lot are queued up and on the way, but not in the fight just yet. Archers aren't going to be able to trade out with that back line, but the Mangoes are making this problematic. Sassy is going to have to give way. I think he forced this a little bit too hard. I mean, in fairness, he needed to, right? If Stopper got Imperial Age, his curtain's closed, you wouldn't be able to mirror. But now you have an awkward defense ahead. If Stopper senses it, if he's like a shark with blood in the water on this, just dives on in, he could do irreparable damage. I mean, he can't slow roll this, though. Like, my worry now is he's going to be, oh, Imperial Age is good. Sass no front line versus 2 Mangoes? Guys, come on. If there's like multi-Mangoes, what you want to do is you want to build more Mangoes than your opponent. Do you not know the current meta in AoE 4? If I saw my opponent has 5 Mangoes, I build 8. If he has 8, I build 10. If he has a 12, I'll build 15. Oh wait, we're not in Imperial yet. That's right. Mangoes are kind of pathetic. Will I be casting the Beastie Shower? What is the... What? Yes, across on P-Hub. Wait, what? Flash coming in. Sass. Is he going to get this? No, there's no way. Lombos are sniping him out. Villagers won't be able to build that up. I mean, this game is looking pretty rough right now for Sass. He's trying to play the Mango game with the choke points. Sofa count is still really good, though. And there's a big problem here. Stopper. Where are the Limitane? Uh-oh. I think he might not have been shield balling here. He definitely wasn't producing. Stop with the overextension. It's going to get pushed back. Damn, well played by Sass. Big mistake made there. Stopper apparently just didn't have the full production. I mean, this is a classic issue of Byzantine players. They build around the systems, they build it far back, they don't have forward-moving production. This type of push is always hard to pull off for that reason, unless your opponent is raw out of resources. Sass stays alive, pushes him back. Has got mass gathering over here to the keep now, so plenty of food income for him. And Stopper, I think, has just tapped a gold vein. He's got 42 idle villages right now. Where? Oh, there it is. Yes, a little bit of a gap in the gathering. But we are going to be seeing Imperial Age. So although it was a little bit of a throwaway on that dive from Stopper, he's still going to get the age up. He does have a bigger army in the Sass. And no gulpers in this game. Get that cringe crap out. Golden Horn Tower all the way. Wait, what? He went for an engineering company. Okay, so one thing we did highlight, like how this is useful, is that the foreign engineering company is going to give him the volley, which will wipe Musafadi gunners in the late game. I do feel like there is a window with Palatine School to end the game at the start of Imperial. This is more advantageous than a delayed Imperial. The problem with this type of play is like there's potentially more wind in Sassy's sail if we go into deep Imperial now. Because although longbows can counter gunners, without volley they don't counter them insanely well. Right? It's not like an insta wipe. Oh, sorry, other way around. Yeah. So like, wait, my brain, dude. I need to eat. So yeah, foreign engineering company, deep in, he's going to be good. But in the interim, Sass gets catch-up opportunity. Because the Palatine would flood you, right? Like the Palatine would have a regurgitation of troops that never ends. So I think Stopper has done that classic move where he's like thinking about the hyper late game and it being better to go foreign engineering company. If you got what the other landmark was, the Palatine School is the one that has a chance to produce your unique Byzantine units for free whenever you produce them. So you can get Cataphracts for free, you can get Limitane for free, you can get Varangian for free. It is a tempo-based landmark. It's also an outrageously RNG landmark. Because technically, you could build a Palatine School, queue 10 Cataphracts, and get 10 Cataphracts for free. And yes, thank you, Kara7 as well. I think that is something that I still don't like that Byzantine's landmark does. It's really dumb because you are inherently making the Imperial Age ultra RNG. Because although it's statistically very unlikely that someone would get 10 Cataphracts for free at the beginning of a tech up, they could, and if they did, they basically would have got their Imperial play refunded entirely. Fish coming in from Stopper. Got a little bit of a trade out here. So Stopper's getting blocked on the gold. Sass still hasn't aged up. This is really important. He understands that although elite techs can be realized, the uni techs are going to be too expensive. He just wants to try and deny his opponent, buy enough time. Sass looks like he's almost ready for his own tech up. Remember, he did go 2 TC to Inflame. And yeah, to mention that was pain to me, man. Like, actually, this is one of those situations where raiding your opponent helped him. Because he pulled the villagers away from just scrambling on top of each other. Push is coming in. Volley did just get activated. Mangoes are going to be trading out. However, the Mango advantage is there for Sass. I think Stopper's just kind of stuck in a fight that shouldn't end well. He's at least targeting down the archers, but just a few so far. Should be enough to cut through this. And more than a few. We've got the Warrior Scouts coming in. Good timing to arrive there. Sass is going to get the clean up, able to protect his economy. He has been forced to play the Age again. So Stopper is still getting an advantage out of this. My worry is gold. Gorge is one of those brutal maps for just immediately going from 100,000 gold access to no gold access fast because of how wide you have to play. So someone to just keep an eye on here is like Stopper. If this game goes a little bit too long, he's going to have to build trade. Sofa's actually might find... There's no way he's just going to walk over there, right? Okay, actually he's not. I'm kind of surprised. So, a little bit shocked that Sass didn't check for that. We're 33 minutes into the game. In fairness, he did just see his opponent down here on the gold, but also he raided it, so his opponent might get paranoid. Like, we have gold vision, we can forgive it, but it definitely would have been worth it for Sass to send one scout up, because if he'd found 22 villagers here, that would have been the entire eco lead gone. Byzantine army right now is sitting in the center. I don't know what the plan is here. It's not really full on defending the gold. And he also has gaps in the walls everywhere. Stopper just trying to subscribe to the Louis MT way of playing. And no one does it quite like Louis. Yeah, we have got walls coming up to segment the map, but not quick enough. Warrior Scouts are going to be able to find their way in. Decent base damage as well, 11 per strike. And still no textiles from Stopper. Wait, hold on a sec. I think Sass knows. Oh no. And yes, Warrior Scouts are like horsemen, but much cheaper. Less potent, but damn are they spammable. Sass, he knows. So Stopper is about to get gold stuff when he's trying to prior gold as an investment here. He's going crossbows. Dive comes in. His own army is on the offensive, but a lot slower here. They're trying to run away. Fort the Huntress is being prepped and dropped by Sass. And he's going to secure the gold vein on the east side. In the meantime, also raid to the back of the base. We have got a gold blocker over here. Stopper is going to be forced onto food and wood only. At least have a counterattack coming up. Dude, can we just agree this is one of the more wild Gorge games? There is so much flank attack going from both players. Usually you get a full wall up, you get a focus in the center, and then whoever has the better static army tends to draw out a win the deeper the game goes. We've got dynamic play by both players on the flanks into Imperial. Damn, has this paid off for Sassy. Stopper's entire villager lead is gone. Neck and neck in the game now, although the military advantage is big. Stopper needs to find some permanent damage. Right now, the Mangoes are creeping up behind him, and this worries me because Stopper doesn't actually have an easy way of dealing with the Mangoes. Only 4 of these cataphracts. Oh my dear God. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there. I wouldn't want to be a villager in either y'all's empires. Admittedly, living in Sassy's would be much safer. I feel like Stopper would just sell me to wolves for a loaf of bread, though. 102 worker kills in this game now. One side, 40 on the other. I like to imagine that this is what being a Byzantine citizen was like when they were reduced down to just Constantinople and being sieged by the Ottomans. Like, yeah, you 20 people can go rebuild that wall. Sire, they're assaulting the wall. Just go rebuild it. That's fine. You know, like, either you build it with bricks or you build it with your bodies, but either way we get a wall. Sir, please. So tech out complete. I mean, Sass, he's been keeping up and being competitive while Castle Age. What happens now with the Imperial? We're going to have all that passive gold generating. He's got relic advantage as well. We talked about a necessity to go trade. That's still not here for Stopper. And Sass is now setting up an outpost so that he knows if it happens. What's better, Malian passive gold or olive oil? Olive oil. Depends on like your contract, right? But the generation can be much higher because you can just body up to like 80 food workers and get over 800 olive oil a minute, right? But there is a trade-off. And that trade-off is Malians are very good at getting gold actively, right? So like, what's better, Malian gold late game or olive oil late game? Gold because you add in traders. And that's when things get nutty. Stopper at it again on the same side. I don't think he even knows about what's happening on the east side. And there we go. Sass, we talked about the order of Gorge. He's trying to restore it now. We've got stone walls coming in. Important as well, because he could go for a sacred site victory here. Is it me or is this slipping from Stopper? He does still have the foreign engineering company. He'll definitely want that to get through these walls. Hilariously, we have not seen a single use of it so far in this game. So he pretty much just chose the tech to get his upgrades on his longbows. Both trade, I still prefer Byzantine trade due to oil. Mali does not have a Saharan trade network. Well, Malians get a lot of extra gold from toll outposts though, right? The weird thing about Byzantine trade is like, yes, you get olive oil as well, but like, you already have ways of getting a lot of olive oil with farms, right? I guess you can spam a lot more olive oil. It's not terrible per se. And like, we have to remember he has access to Streltsy now, which would be phenomenal against gunners. But now though, Sass is just prioritizing precision training. Apology is coming from Stop. I mean, I'm just looking at this and I want to believe that Stopper can win. But we've seen him with double the military multiple times and unable to close. Sacred sites are locked in. Realistically, that's something Stopper should be aiming for here. The cool thing about controlling sacred sites is you'd then be able to trade and your opponent would not be able to trade. Remember, the balance of gorge is really cool, is quite often you get these trade post spawns that are slap bang next to a sacred site. And finally, we are getting the siege we asked for. So Raw Cannon's on the way. This is going to be the break force point. He needs to just breach through the base. That's the only way it's going to happen. Is Lumitane are running? Yeah, they're sponsored by Insert Sneaker Brad. I'm not giving you guys that for free. Sponsor me. Alright, I think we're deep enough we can do another check. One's if you think Sass is going to win. Two's if you think Stopper's going to have it. I mean, it looks really good for Stopper. At least it did a minute ago. Sass is catching up on the population now. I'm also worried about this. One thing that I think really sucks for the Byzantines with the Foreign Engineering Company build is you are inclined to go to nested bees. And that's bad. Mangoes are better at this stage, right? So you could go adjustable crossbars. It's not that Byzantines can't. It's just that it feels so much more efficient to get your siege via the Foreign Engineering Company. Like, I actually think with the siege change, Foreign Engineering Company is a bait now. It's good for the unit upgrades you get, like the volley. It sucks if you ever need to rely on Nestor Bees, though. Like, to me, Nestor Bees now, with this build, is an attritional war game. And you're playing an attritional war against one of the best civs, man. Like, Malians, they've got the Fulani, right? They've got a bigger economy. They've got many more villages now, especially with this raid hitting. Backstab coming in, and no! He's stuck against the wall! What? Mango's moving in. Stopper tries to discombobulate the formation. The only upside right now is no adjustable crossbars. He needs to adjust his approach to this game. Constantly, we've been seeing him trying to edge in on this north side, and constantly, Sassy has been catching him with these backstabs. Has at least got a second wave shuffling in on the east side. Plenty of troops in reserve for sure, but right now it just feels like Sass, with a smaller army, is taking the fights that matter where they matter most. So he's even shuffling in to find a few reinforcing units. We're going to be able to find the siege. How much gold does Sass have left? We've got 3k here. And he's exhausted over here. Okay, so 3k is enough to get you adjustable crossbars. Would be justified here. And yeah, Sass has 2 TC. Meanwhile, Stopper, remember he opened 2 TC. Sass went 2 TC deep in Castle quickly. Now the gun is starting to arrive. I mean, the problem is that Stopper doesn't have any gunpowder. I mean, he'd need gold for that, right? This guy's poorer than Oliver Twist. They've got 200 gold left on the map. No income. I just don't see a way now. If he can get trade set up, sure, but he's trying now. The issue is you're going to have to trade really badly for it, right? Because you're going to need quite a bit of gold to get that revved up. Not just that. Welcome to the Doom point. Stopper is playing like a weird poor man's China in a way, right? Because he's going to be thinking STBs. He's been thinking STBs, and it's going to be his down point. It's very interesting to have a game cast with the players in chat. That's what I was saying. I think it's kind of interesting, right? Because, like, this is the thing. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's just live. Like, it doesn't always have to be live. I mean, one, have you watched it? But two, there's also the cool insights you get. Because it's very rare that you're able to get the players' thought process outside of like a winning interview on the Grand Finals, right? There's like no stopper. Looking back at this game, I'm curious what his takeaway is. It's crazy actually. He's got a huge military force, but I want to try and hone in on that, right? Like it kind of feels like Stopper's disadvantage here is he didn't play Gorge for what it was when he had map control. He didn't wall the map. He didn't then funnel attacks into one point. He allowed SAS to play wide. Like, I can't believe I'm looking at a game where one player has 130 military and one has 50. And I'm still backing the guy with 50. And it's because Stopper's, in some cases, overreacted to these raids because he didn't have walls. He's got all this military advantage. It's just never all targeted in one location. We had that one attempt down the center that got stopped by a keep and 2 mangoes, right? And now we've got the trade that we've been waiting for from SAS. This is what's going to make this impossible. He's got 10 traders already online. They've got the tolls to give the extra gold on the way. And by organically, naturally, they're getting, like, what, 76 each way? That even silk bowstrings on the way. I mean, what Unitex has Stopper really realized here? He doesn't have bowstrings. He went no elite army tactics. He did at least get biology. We don't have ensnare arrows, right? It's like Stopper is a poor man's Imperial. This is the worry we talked about when you lack the gold. Meanwhile, SAS is just unlocking more and more of those critical university techs, right? Got silk bowstrings coming. We already have biology. Those are the bread and butters he needs. We'll likely be seeing siege works next. He's already got the adjustable crossbars, which is technically a unitech, just not in the university. He's more in age 5 than Stopper is. What's up with the weird biz walls? I think he was trying to play around the tree lines because it's safer. Like, if a raid force comes by, I can wall this easier than if I wall all the way across. And also, he's probably paranoid about SAS's vision. Didn't want to get scouted trying to build these walls up because he'd just get sniped. So Stopper's playing the very dangerous game now, folks. He's blobbed up about as big as he can get. His economy is very tiny. Now, this is an advantage if you can win the fight. If you lose the fight, or if you draw the fight, though, it's usually how you lose these games. The classic of late game economy, right? That's why you usually see players build up 10, 15, 20k reserves so that they can just do back-to-back pushes with small economies. Look at this raw Canis Poggers. Nah, dog. Give me the raw Robotiquins. Whoop, whoop. There you go, guys. That's the buff Byzantines need. Get rid of the Nesta Bees. Give them the Robotiquins. Alright, that actually would be busted. Oh my god, dude. He's here again! They're just scouts! They're not just scouts. Too many Scots. Oh, SAS is going to have a little bit of a hard defense ahead of him, but if he survives this, Stopper's economy is just flatlined. We're flattened like a pancake. Stopper, I believe he did pull back. Yeah, he pulled Horseman back to deal with this, right? So he only has 10 pushing on the front side. That's not enough. Archer's going to be able to hold here. Just a few sofas able to shuffle in. Or kind of forcing the tree. It looks like SAS is once again going to be able to hold in this castle area. Stopper does at least have Streltsy now coming. Against Silk Bowstrings? I don't know if I like that. Remember, these guys have 6.5 tower range now. Another crazy thing is Farima leadership, because what SAS can do is if he sees Master Streltsy, he can just kite you. And yeah, like, guys, and just stop. I mean, dude, I love that chat's like you know, cheering him up. Stop it, dude. You don't need to be hard on yourself. Sass is very good at the game. You're very good at the game. The way you have to look at this is like learning lessons, right? This is the cool thing about being in the chat. Like, you don't have to think there's a negative, oh man, he's just casting my loss. It's like, we talked about through game 1 what should have happened. And then game 2, like, you did play very well. You were just missing that final step, right? There was multiple points where you had to kill a comp, but the next step was wall to protect your economy so you never have to get distracted, right? Like, that's an easy slip up to make in a late game situation, especially against Malians, who are just really good at stretching the map. And that's the lesson you take forward, right? It's like, I think Sassy, to be honest about this, right? Like, if you'd walled up the flanks, I don't think Sassy could have fought you. The military advantage you had at multiple phases in this game, if it was all leveraged into one location, Sass gets his cheeks clapped harder than someone paying $50 an hour for a wonderful lady in high heels in Apex. You know, like, it's just going to be rough. But because you got to play it wide like this, you never got to leverage your big advantage. It's like when you watch someone with 50 lombos and you're like, I'm just going to go horseman and not even attack them directly, right? It's like the logic of how good 5 knights can be in a game when your opponent's playing pocket economies. That's the issue. Is that Sass has just been bodying you with warrior scouts. And the thing you need to remind yourself of when you're in a game like this, when you get this deep in a game, is that you need to find a way to attack. You're so busy putting fires out. Sassy's that little, is it Klepto? A pyromaniac. This little pyromaniac with a can of gasoline and a match. And you are SWAT Team Delta, right? You've got guns. The problem is, you're meant to be SWAT Team Delta, but instead of being SWAT Team Delta, you're also the local town's fireman department. And you have an obligation to protect life over taking it. So you're running around, putting these fires out, and Sass is making noises comparative to the egg thief from Spyro, like running along, burning everything as he goes. You just don't have a chance to do what you're good at, what you're made to do with this army, which is SWAT Team Delta his ass out of the game. We do at least have trade coming in from Stop now. I mean, this is too late. At this stage, it's once again the same issue. No walls, no proper real walls, right? We'll speed this up a little bit. I think we are reaching the obvious conclusion point. I don't mind this though. Like, I mean, was it someone just said in chat, like, oh man, yeah, like the chat spoiled the result. I mean, I think we made it into an educational piece regardless of that. There's some interesting takeaways for Stopper, and if he takes them forward, this is exactly what midweek muster was meant to do. Put you up against some of the best players, learn from the experience, learn from the draft, learn from everything, and improve. Stopper has been making amazing strides in the weeklies. He continues to improve, he continues to learn from these. Stopper is going to be a beautiful case study on how midweek muster can bring in a new generation of AoE 4 pros. You're so obnoxious, Sass, dude. Sass's only regret is that he wasn't able to play Ottomans to 53 minutes doing this with Sipahi. The one thing he wishes he could change. But no, you pick Malians this game. Stopper apparently just going for the all-in. Might as well, right? I mean, the problem is one of the landmarks you'd have to take out is the defensive landmark with a cannon placement in it. And the gunners are being prepped, man. Oof. Sofamas is already blobbed as well. Only 26 Limitane isn't going to feel great. Stopper. Hey, man. If he's going to have to go down with the ship, he's going to go down and start. What? Wait, what? No! That is not with style! That is intentional population control! Oh my god. Alright. A 2-0 for Sass it is. Not the close last-ditch fight I was looking for. I guess we'll blame this on adjustable crossbars being OP. Oh my god! GG's though. Let me know what you guys thought of this game. Let me know what you thought of the series. I mean, I kind of like that we took that educational branch. We were able to talk to the player, talk through their process. Let me know if you like that type of content. I know a lot of people crave on about how they want live, but sometimes replays have their own merit. And I think we kind of got parts of that here. I'll see you in the next one.